Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Kind of sounds a little bit like the conversation you just had about wanting the spotlight. This is what I said about it, and I love it. I want to see them going at it. I want to see them playing physical. I want to keep this racist crap off the court where it belongs.
Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own it. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next level. That's number.
Stephen A. Smith just dropped a bombshell that shook the entire WNBA world. In a shocking declaration, he rejected the idea that Angel Reese is even worthy of being Caitlin Clark's rival. And what Reese did next left fans absolutely stunned.
First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way.
For months, the league has been selling the narrative of a Clark versus Reese rivalry, the fiery rematch of their 2023 NCAA championship clash. From Reese's viral "You Can't See Me" moment to their heated WNBA battles, the storylines seemed like pure gold for the league. But now, Stephen has torched it completely.
Sports supporters, well, I told you guys there would be a follow-up video on the nuclear fallout. That's exactly what it's been. Over the take foul, as Caitlin Clark is calling it, and that's a great way to say it. It was a take foul. She was trying to prevent a wide-open layup, although one could argue that...
On the Rich Eisen show, Stephen A. didn't hold back. He said flat out, quote, "It's not a rivalry. Not when you lose by 35 points. Caitlin Clark is on another level." He praised Reese as special, but made it clear she is not Clark. His words hit like a thunderclap across sports media.
A line in life that you just simply don't cross. Wives and children are always off limits. And Ryan Clark has sprinted past them. Ryan Clark didn't like my sports take that Angel Reese take. And that's fine. It's okay. It's part of the game.
And the timing couldn't have been worse. Just days earlier, tensions between Clark and Reese exploded during Fever vs. Sky. Clark was whistled for a flagrant after hard contact with Reese, sparking chaos on the court and online. Reese called it just a basketball play, but the clip went viral instantly. Her attention,
her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. Because she wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it.
Behind the scenes, sources claim Reese was furious at Stephen's comments. While she stayed measured in public, those close to her say she feels dismissed, diminished, and disrespected. After all, the league itself built her up as Clark's foil, only to now hear she's not even in the same conversation.
But the eyeballs on the WNBA really have to do with Caitlin Clark. Now, you might, if you stay long enough, maybe you'll see something or someone there you go, okay, I'm entertained by this. But there's nothing wrong with admitting that you watch a sport because of one singular person.
This controversy isn't just about basketball. It touches deeper issues. Fans argue that media bias often favors Clark, while Reese's accomplishments get overshadowed. And when Stephen A., the loudest voice in sports, says she's not even a rival, that hits hard. It's not just dismissal, it's eraser. The fallout was immediate. ESPN personalities clashed. Ryan Clark pushed back, saying analysts had crossed the line. Robert Griffin III fueled the fire by suggesting Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark, escalating the conversation from rivalry to personal animosity. Suddenly, this wasn't just sports talk. It was war in the media itself. Fans picked sides fast. Clark supporters argued Reese is obsessed with her. Reese's defenders said Stephen A. is just another example of media bias against Black athletes. The battle lines were drawn, and the WNBA suddenly found itself at the center of one of the most polarizing debates in modern sports. Then came another bombshell. The league launched an investigation into alleged racist comments directed at Reese during that very Fever vs. Sky game. Days later, the WNBA admitted it couldn't substantiate the claims, but the damage was already done. The narrative around Clark versus Reese had now spiraled into something bigger than basketball. Despite his dismissal of the rivalry, Stephen urged both stars to embrace it. He insisted that competition, even without personal hatred, is good for the league and their brands. But here's the real question. Was this tough love, or did he just shatter the WNBA's biggest storyline? Stephen A. Smith just lit a fire under the WNBA, declaring that Angel Reese isn't even Caitlin Clark's rival. This statement stunned fans, enraged Reese supporters, and sparked one of the most heated sports debates of the year. But what Angel Reese did next, nobody saw it coming. To understand why Stephen's words cut so deep, we need to rewind. Back in April 2023, Reese and Clark electrified March Madness. Clark's record-breaking performances turned her into a household name. But it was Reese's now iconic "You Can't See Me" gesture in the NCAA championship game that lit the internet on fire. Overnight, a rivalry was born. Or, at least that's how the media painted it. On The Rich Eisen Show, Stephen A. didn't hold back. Quote, "It's not a rivalry. Not when you lose by 35 points. Caitlin Clark is on another level." He praised Reese as special, but made it clear she is not Clark. Just like that, the league's biggest storyline torched. Just days earlier, tensions were already boiling. In a Fever vs. Sky matchup, Clark was hit with a flagrant foul after hard contact with Reese. The clip went viral, reigniting old college battles and dividing fans once again. Reese brushed it off, calling it just a basketball play. But the internet exploded. Sources close to Reese say she was furious. For months, the WNBA itself had positioned her as Clark's foil, the fire to her ice, the villain to her hero. Now, the loudest voice in sports had erased her from the narrative entirely. And for Reese, this wasn't just about pride. It was about money, legacy, and respect. Behind the outrage is a deeper issue. When Caitlin Clark trash talks, she's praised for her fire. When Angel Reese does the same, she's called unsportsmanlike. Sports psychologists call it the double standard of women's sports, and it's haunted Reese since college. Within hours, sports media personalities weighed in. Ryan Clark defended Angel, arguing she was being unfairly vilified. Robert Griffin III escalated things further, suggesting Reese hates Caitlin Clark. Suddenly, the rivalry that Stephen A. denied became bigger than ever. This isn't just about who scores more points. For Reese, being positioned as Clark's rival comes with massive financial stakes. Endorsements, visibility, even her spot as a face of the league. All of it could be shaken by Stephen Yes' dismissal. And some argue race plays a role, too. By casting Clark as the humble hero and Reese as the emotional antagonist, the media risks reinforcing damaging stereotypes. Stephen A. says Angel Reese isn't Caitlin Clark's rival, but Reese's next move may prove him wrong. Will she rise to the challenge, or will the media narrative define her forever? One thing's certain, this story is far from over. When Stephen A. Smith sat in his ESPN chair and confidently declared that Angel Reese is not Caitlin Clark's true rival, it wasn't just another hot take. It was a seismic moment that sent shockwaves through the WNBA, the media, and the fan base. For years, the Reese-Clark rivalry had been the beating heart of women's basketball coverage. From their iconic clash in the 2023 NCAA championship game, where Reese taunted Clark with the now infamous "You Can't See Me" gesture, to their fiery professional encounters in the WNBA, the storyline had practically written itself. Networks leaned into it. Advertisers cashed in, and fans divided themselves into warring camps. But Stephen A., the loudest voice in sports media, suddenly dismissed the entire narrative, essentially stripping Reese of the role that elevated her from college star to national lightning rod. What made this rejection even more explosive was the timing. The WNBA is in its biggest growth phase in history, with record-breaking viewership numbers largely tied to Caitlin Clark's arrival and the viral drama surrounding her every move. Angel Reese, as both Clark's on-court rival and media foil, has been essential to that growth. Yet behind the scenes, Reese has privately expressed frustration that she isn't given the same grace Clark enjoys in coverage. When Clark trash talks or plays with swagger, she's celebrated as passionate, competitive, even Michael Jordan-esque. But when Reese shows the same fire, she's branded as unsportsmanlike, overly aggressive, or even toxic. This glaring double standard has left Rhee in what sources call a no-win situation, soften her image, and lose the authenticity that made her magnetic, or embrace the villain role and endure relentless criticism. By rejecting her as Clark's equal, Stephen A. Smith did more than bruise Reese's pride. He threatened her brand, her endorsements, and even her financial future. Being marketed as Clark's rival wasn't just a storyline. It was Reese's ticket to visibility.